Our next theory of knowledge comes from Gottfried Leibniz. Right? Um, Leibniz is one of the two inventors of calculus. Don't listen to your third, fourth, whatever grade science teacher who said it was Newton. Newton built off of Leibniz's foundation, just in a different direction, which is how we get the bases for the two different types of calculus. Newton, we have the bases for differential calculus, and for Leibniz, we have the basis for integral calculus. Right? But it's based off of Leibniz's work either way. Leibniz just published, in lesser read spheres. So Leibniz's theory of knowledge is internalist, foundationalist, and correspondent. And right, it's a form of what's known as rationalism. And rationalism is the theory characterized by the idea that the criterion of truth is not sensory, it's not external, but intellectual and deductive. It's mental, right? This is why it's internalist, right? Justification rests on internal mental states, right? It's foundationalist because of the fact that the basic aspects of reality are monads, which are the foundations of not just metaphysics for Leibniz, but also for epistemology, right? And it's correspondent because, well, the world is a particular way, and the mind can rationally come to know it that way. So monads, which are an important feature of not just Leibniz's metaphysics, but his epistemology, as I mentioned before, are the irreducible parts of reality. They're the smallest elements of reality. The way that modern physics thinks of subatomic particles or energy itself. This is what functionally monads, the role that monads fill in Leibniz's own philosophy. So monads can be vastly different. This is another thing, right? They can be vastly different. You can have horse monads, you can have dog monads, you can have number monads, right? But they all share the quality of being knowable to the mind, right? Different monads make up different things, right? But all of them can be known to the mind. And here, Leibniz distinguishes between perception, right? The monad responsible for or representing the external world, and apperception, the monad which represents consciousness, right? Or the mind's awareness of itself. So perception is only possible, perception of the external world, of external monads, because of apperception. If the mind cannot be aware of itself, right, of its own structure, of its own monadic structure, then it can't be aware of anything external to it. Right? And apperception allows perception to become memory, its own monad. Right? So through the mind, we are capable of perception, right? And what we perceive is not itself source of knowledge, but the memory of it, right? The logging of the external in the internal, right? And is what we know through perception. Right? So there's kind of a two-step process involved. And monads, again, are the foundation upon which all knowledge is built, right? It corresponds to the way the world really is because the world is built on those monads, and that's what we know first and foremost, right? And it's internalist because all knowledge rests upon the intellect, the mind, and its own apperception of itself.